Andrea and Chris Fabry used to live in this beautiful 5,500 square foot home with their 9 kids and 2 dogs. They had it all. Chris, a successful Christian radio host and author, and the kids thriving at school, home, and church. But in 2007, they discovered mold in this bathroom. The Fabrys cut into the wall, accidentally releasing spores and setting off a series of health problems. They ranged from rashes to diabetes, and then worse. Chris Fabry remembers 11-year-old Reagan's constant vertigo.
This was a child I had to literally carry to the bathroom so he could throw up. And no doctor would say, they would say, you can't have vertigo all the time. That's not possible.
10-year-old Caitlin had to give up reading after her vision blurred. Next, 7-year-old Colin became sick.
He would be doubled over with abdominal pain, sobbing, and migraines where he would scream. His headaches would be so severe that he would just literally sit there and scream. And then it was all 4 kids, then every night was like that.
At this point, the Fabrys had no idea that mold was to blame. Part of the problem, remediators used fans on the mold, spreading toxic spores throughout the home. Also, 30 doctors questioned the Fabrys, but not one asked about their environment.
I would have doctor after doctor look at me and say, have you thought of a psychologist for him or her? Have you thought of just sending them back and giving them a little bit of tough love? I think that's what they need.
Finally, a year later, an indoor air test confirmed Andrea's deepening suspicion. Dangerously high counts of mold spores in several rooms. The toxicologist told the family, "Your house is killing you. Get out." And so they left, leaving behind everything, even putting down their 2 dogs to prevent future contamination. It turns out that there's only a handful of doctors in the country who specialize in treating mold. And so the Fabrys decided to move to Arizona to seek the help of Dr. Michael Gray, who specializes in treating mold and practices in rural Benson, just south of Tucson.
The Fabrys have had a pattern of illness that reflects what we've been seeing with other patients.
Gray says urine tests confirmed high levels of toxins in all 11 family members. But he doesn't blame their doctors. He blames the medical system.
It is an area that is not well taught, and it is not well recognized.
Dr. David Jacobs is a former HUD director and now leads research for the National Center for Healthy Housing.
We are still struggling to understand, which species of mold produce which specific health outcomes.
Jacobs estimates that up to 25% of U.S. homes have a mold problem. It's a recognized hazard going all the way back to Bible times. In Leviticus 14, the Lord commands Moses and Aaron to follow up on mold complaints. The priest must go in and check it. He must look carefully at the mold that is on the walls. Today, the World Health Organization says exposure to toxic mold can hurt the cardiovascular and pulmonary systems and even lead to death. The Department of Defense calls one type of mold proven lethal agents in warfare. A lengthy report cites symptoms including vomiting, bleeding, shock, and rapid death.
These substances that we're talking about include amongst them the most toxic substances known to humankind that are naturally occurring in the environment. And because we use them for chemical warfare, we need to know how to protect our troops.
But the EPA's website has just one paragraph on how mold can cause health problems. It emphasizes allergies and concludes research is ongoing. The trouble, says Jacobs, is Congress has failed to make mold a priority.
There is no uniform training curricula that's out there that all the states can use and adapt. We do have that for lead and for radon.
We're breeding mold right now. It's not whether or not there's mold in your home. It's just whether or not there's unsafe levels of mold in your home.
David Collier's company cleans up mold. The key, he says, is keeping your home dry.
There's a lot of opportunity for water to drip inside here, and it's a dark area.
Areas to watch for: leaking pipes under sinks, water coming in around windows, and unventilated bathrooms. For the Fabrys, it's unknown if their Colorado home will ever be livable again. For now, They are simply trying to recover. The goal, healthy eating and avoiding public places which trigger newfound chemical sensitivities. Inspired to share what they've learned, Andrea is chronicling their journey on the web.
We as people living in our homes don't know this. And I think we're going to wake up. I think it's coming, just like lead poisoning, tobacco.
I want to get to the redemption side of this, but first tell me.
Chris Fabry is hosting his radio show in a makeshift studio in their rental home. Off-air, he tackles mounting medical bills that insurance won't cover and is getting Reagan back on track with his new baseball team.
We're together. My wife and I are closer than we've ever been. We have been able to go through this kind of tornado of the emotion, the roller coaster of the emotions and the loss, all of our stuff, and the dogs, and the illnesses of the kids. And we've really seen God work in all of that.
It's a long road to full recovery for the Fabrys, but they're armed with the grace of God and now a better knowledge of what they're dealing with. That will help them recover and possibly wake more people up to the dangers of mold. Reporting in Arizona, Heather Sells, CBN News.